If you own a Nintendo game, you might see a label on the front or the back of a game cartridge telling you that this game got an official or original Nintendo seal. But what does that mean? And why does Nintendo have that label on all their games? Well, we have to go back to 1983. During that time, the United States video game crash of 1983 happened because of several reasons. A large factor was a lot of poor quality games made their way to the market. A good example would be E.T. and Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. These games were mass-produced but didn't sell well. In 2014, an excavation team in New Mexico found thousands of buried E.T. cartridges, thus ending the 31-year urban legend. In many cases, sometimes Atari themselves had no control over it. Games like Custer's Revenge and Jungle Fever, just to name a few, left a negative impression on the gaming industry, thus did a lot of damage to the industry's image. And people were tired of not knowing what games were approved by Atari at the time. They all looked relatively the same on shelves. The Nintendo seal of quality was a stamp that said, yes, Nintendo has reviewed this game and approved it for release on their platform. This meant that consumers could easily spot the difference between the safe games and unlicensed games. It doesn't mean that the game is good. For example, Superman 64 got the quality seal label and that game is horrible, but that's just my opinion. The label at least guarantees a functional and family-friendly product that Nintendo themselves has signed off on. Shortly afterwards, the Sega seal of quality appeared on a video game's box and marketing as a means of informing the consumer that Sega had previewed the game before its release to ensure that the game was fully compatible for its intended home console system. However, the Sega seal of quality was otherwise very different from the Nintendo seal of quality. Let me explain. Sega never required a third-party software developer to earn the official Sega seal of quality as a precondition for publication, although most developers chose to do so. Furthermore, a game could earn the seal even if it contained a lot of blood and graphic violence. Games such as Splatterhouse 2 and Streets of Rage got the Sega seal. The Genesis and Saturn console got their own seal of quality label, but in late 1998, out of nowhere, Sega retired the seal label, and when the Dreamcast got released later on, none of their games got the official Sega label seal of quality. May 6, 2022, Super Mario Bros. Tweeted an image of two Mario games for the GameCube. He talked about how Mario Golf Toadstool Tour was the last Mario game to have received the official Nintendo seal of quality from Nintendo of America in 2003, as later the seal was changed to no longer promise any quality. But somehow, Nintendo of Europe is still using the original Nintendo seal of quality on their games. Why has the USA changed their label and not Europe? I'm not entirely sure. If you have any additional information on this topic, let me know in the comment section. That's going to wrap up this video. See you guys next time and thanks for watching.